Hey there. I didn't get my mic uh, attached. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Downhill from here to the weekend. Hoping everyone's having a good week. Welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie Stephenson, also known as Watercolor Artiste in social media circles. And I am the artist of midlifeartist.com. And I want to welcome you to my live stream. This is my weekly live stream, Wednesdays at 8. I've been pretty consistent, uh, keeping up with those, despite all of life's, ups and downs. And there's been plenty of those lately. But I persevere and I keep going. So welcome to everyone in the chat. And everyone, if you're on YouTube and you're missing out on the chat, that's because everyone's on Rumble chatting. So welcome everybody. I'm so glad to see you. Hey, even my son's in the chat. Very nice, very nice. Zen, Shatosa, Crazy Bear, author Lisa Stephenson. Yep. So great. Thank you for joining again. And observers and lurkers are welcome as long as you're all well behaved. We're all good. So yeah. I've got a lot going on. I've got 3 canvases still in WIP. This one is so close. I worked on it some over the weekend. I got lettering in on the other faces of the buildings, at least placeholder lettering. I need to adjust as I paint, which is what I'll probably be working on tonight. I got to finish painting the gun. And then again, I got to just do the windows and doors in this. So I'll be working on that tonight, hoping I can make some real good progress. Yeah, you know, like that helps you understand. Anyway, so let me go ahead and talk about some news and events. I know that uh, I've mentioned it in past live streams. I'll mention it now. I have 2 events coming up in May. May 2nd, I will be um, a demonstrator vendor at my local town festival that's going to be celebrating America's 250th celebration. So I'll have a tent, but I'll also be demonstrating. So I'll probably be doing charcoals and pastels as part of that, along with other vendors like blacksmiths and things like that are supposed to be there, I think. So it'll be kind of cool. That's right in town, so I'm happy for that. And then I'll be my first time as an artist vendor at the Dahlonega Arts and Wines Festival in May 16th and 17th in Dahlonega, Georgia. So if you're in the area, come by, say hi, check out the whole festival. Lots of stuff going on. So yeah, but that I've been mentioning, I've been showing that in the last um, couple of live streams. But let me go ahead into my news and events. I wanted to show you, I had posted about our feral kitty cat, Dale. And some of you may have missed it. I did, I think, post about him today on my profile. And this is Dale, as you can see. He's been feral all his life. He's a domesticated feral. He's known us all of his life. And he trusts us. He won't trust anyone else. And last week, I think it was a week ago today, he ended up in our garage, which we usually keep him in at nights, especially during the winter when it's super cold. We have a heat lamp, things like that. But in the summer, it gets hot in the garage. And we can't bring him inside because when he's feral, too, he won't get along with Jackpot. And his mother, Mama Cat, is in the house, and she has FIV. And if she is in contact with anything that could cause her to get sick, she could get violently sick. So we have to protect her. Jack has to, be kept free from anything that would cause him to harm Dale. So we can't bring Dale in. And he's been sick. We're very scared for him because he's very listless, lacking of energy, and he's not using his back legs. However, to offset that, he has an appetite. And in fact, yesterday I did tuna, and he was really happy to get tuna. but he's only eating a little bit at a time, but he's interested. So he's got appetite, which I take as a good sign. Today we went ahead and used sardines in water, and he loves that. Again, and what I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit of sardines mushed up with sardine water, and I'm doing about every 2 hours where I'm trying to help him eat. Um, so that's Dale. He's been in our garage for a week. We're very concerned about him. I'm going to try to see if I can't find a way to get him to an emergency vet or urgent care vet that has some sort of low cost ability for us people who don't really have money. I don't have a ton of money, and I can't bring him to the emergency room vet that I don't have the kind of cash for. So be praying for Dale. He's a good boy, and he's having a rough time of it. But yeah, that's our feral kitty cat, Mama Cat's son, Dale. And then of course there's Jackpot. Um, this is a picture of Jackpot, our Jack Russell, hanging out on the couch. This past weekend, we had a game for Ron's TTRPG where someone else decided to drive the game and be the chaos coordinator. What's the chaos coordinator? It's essentially the game master. If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons and some other of the tabletop RPGs, the game master drives the game and the narrative and things like that. And so he had someone else driving the game, and it turned out to be very successful. And Jackpot here was staking out his spot on the couch. We had, I don't know how many people. I know Lisa in the chat was there, Crazy Bear. I was in the house, but I didn't play over the weekend. I was trying to get some more stuff done in preparation for my events. But that's Jackpot, and he approves this message. So there you go. And then speaking of TTRPG, this is Ron's website, Jackadoo Productions, and this has the books that he has self-published thus far for the game, working his way up to a Kickstarter. So he's got reviews on his website, and he's got a blog where you can find out how he's a misogynist. It'll give you a laugh. So if you're looking for laughter, take a gander. It's jackadooproductions.com. Um, and yeah, 7 or 8 players came to our house on Saturday, spent hours playing. It was I heard lots of laughter going, so it was a game. A lot of great feedback for our guest chaos coordinator, and it was a good way for Ron to play and not have to worry about driving the game. So oh, Ron says he's got free shipping activated um, on his website. So, if you're interested in buying one of his books, they're actually relatively inexpensive compared to other commercial TTRPGs on the market. And it's full of his artwork. In fact, I have some of mine as well because I have collaborated with him. So there's jackadooproductions.com if you're interested. And then, dun dun dun, as you know, I'm working on this painting here. It's for Lisa Stephenson's novel Resilient. The painting will be called the same. And she has her website, authorlisamarie.com, where you can sign up for VIP access for previews and snippets of her work. So if you're interested, feel free to check her website out. I know she's been working on it. And so I know some of it's under development for sure. So bear with her as she gets those things worked out. You can see a little bit of Glass Lake, which is a short story of hers, and I did the cover art for that in watercolor. So yeah, go and check it out at authorlisamarie.com as well. Let's see here. And then, last but not least, I wanted to showcase Art of Zin. I happened to watch one of his videos today. It's the one showing in the upper left-hand corner about fountain pens. And I watched that, and I have to say, I learned so much. I don't use fountain pens. I always thought they were called calligraphy pens, but I guess all calligraphy pens are fountain pens, but not all fountain pens are calligraphy pens, probably, right? I'm guessing. But anyway, but yeah, Art of Zen has a great video on that. So if you're interested in fountain pens, pen and ink, he really goes through the different kinds, the different nibs, the different kinds of ink, waterproof and water-based, as well as how the nib can flex. Some do, some don't. It was very fascinating. And so if you like to do pen and ink, I really highly suggest watching his video. You don't want to watch it. You don't want to just listen to it like I did. I had it on in the background while I was working my day job today, and I happened to look up a couple of times, and he had some text across the screen while he was talking during his videography there. And if you miss those, you're missing out on a treat. So he makes you laugh. He even has a wish for Santa in there. So check it out. It's great. So he's got some really great stuff there. He's got some really great artwork. So check him out on Rumble, Art of Zen. That's his channel. I just thought I'd give him a shout out because he's been very, very supportive of me, coming to every live stream for the last, I don't know, month, 2 months. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track, but I'm just grateful. So I'm grateful for everyone who showed up tonight. I'm grateful for my for you guys keep showing up. I'm just grateful. So thank you. So there you go. That's my news and events. Let's go ahead and do my two. Okay. Oh, palette cam is still working. Yes. Okay. Um, and I got my camcorder on the painting, and I've got palette cam working. I did get my palette set up. Let me tell you what colors I've got going on here so you can understand what I'm aiming to do. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So agree. Anyway, uh, this is my palette um, sample of my Blue Ridge uh, oil paints. So when I talk about what I have here, I do have trans red oxide on my palette. So this is trans red oxide here, which is a transparent red oxide. I do have, wait a minute, I think, oh, I got my cadmium yellow as well. And then I think and then cadmium red light, which is this one right here. So I've got this one, and this one on the palette. And then I've got my Master's Touch and Winsor Newton's. So I've got ground white here. I got titanium white Master's Touch. I got Prussian blue. I got Payne's gray. And then in the red here, right here next to the transparent red oxide is Winsor Newton's Crimson Alizarin is right there. So those are the colors on my palette tonight if you're interested. Those are very helpful when you want to know what you're trying to lay down. So I think some of my edges are missing in these shots, so I apologize, but I wanted to get kind of close up. I worked on this area of the painting over the weekend, trying to get this uh, the values reconnecting, the dress edged correctly. It's still actually a little tacky. I also, did I just mess up? No, okay. I got lettering in these spots as well. So what I'm looking to do, what's left to this, is the lettering needs to be finished. The interior portions of the building need to be adjusted for the proper perspective. This side is okay because the horizon line actually kind of goes here. That's the vanishing point down here behind them where their backsides are touching. So I keep double checking my lines. These are coming down. But this is obviously not making it correct. I've got to adjust these down. So I do need to make those. I want to make this a door with a window. for the Midnight and Mischief, which is the M&M club there. Here is Silver Stitches. So I'm probably gonna just make sure that I've got the darkest darks here, and then I'm gonna make sure that this door registers well and that some of these lines make sense. And then of course the gun needs to be finished as well. And and then I may touch up the sky and make sure I got my brightest brights and my darkest darks in the sky, although I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I know that these window panes are registering pretty blue on the video, but they're actually more purplish blue with some areas that are lighter. So the webcam or the camcorder isn't registering it as clear. So some of this may not look as right based on that. So yes, this is a 30-inch by 30-inch oil painting, and it's due this week for Lisa because she's going to be releasing her novel. And so yeah, uh, yes, color swatches, Crazy Bear. That's right. That's what these were, color swatches. So I've been meaning to transfer my Blue Ridge oil paint swatches to this overall one because I got all this canvas board left. And it'd be nice to have all of them on one canvas board, all the different paint colors that I have from the various brands. So I do intend to also, I mean, I'm not going to get rid of this one because these are big swatches. I just want to get everything on one so I just can grab the one and say, okay, what do I want to use? So but yeah, I just thought I'd share that out. Color swatching is very helpful, whether it's oil paints, acrylics, watercolors, pastels, colored pencils, things like that. So I see a face on the last building on the right, but that's me. Face. Oh, here? Where? Last building. Here? Where do you see that, Shatosa? Tell me if I'm pointing in the right spot, because I don't see a face, but then again, I've got a sketchbook too. This one? Nope. This side? Right by Selena. Huh. I don't see it. Okay, then. Well, that's interesting. Two eyes and a mouth to the right of Selena. Huh. All right, Ron, you'll have to point that out to me after the fact because I'm obviously too close. I've been looking at this for far too long that I'm not seeing that icy building. I've been painting that over in front of the middle of her dress. So somewhere here. Well, hey, that's the beauty of art, right? You can see what you can see. I'm going to go ahead and put this up there. But anyway, all right, so let's see what I can accomplish. I think I've been avoiding this section here sufficiently long enough that I need to get my act in gear and get that painted. So let's see here. I was essentially putting here what I was seeing in the reference photo, and it looks like some sort of trash receptacle. And I thought, why am I doing that? I don't need to put that there. I'd rather have a door with a window here for the Midnight and Mischief Club. And again, this vanishing line is not this, the top of this door, window, whatever it is from the reference photo goes in the wrong direction. So I need to make sure that it angles down to the vanishing point here. So I actually need to go and start, so that's what I need to do. Let's see. I do want to make sure that I've got the right tonal values. I need to find I've got the revised source that Ron gave me where he helped put the firearm of choice in her hand as a reference for me. He's good with the Adobe Photoshop for me. But let's see here. I think it's under my references. My nose is itching. You know what that means? Ron knows what that means. And my son might know what that means when I say my nose is itching. And if my mom was watching, she'd know exactly what I was about to say because she taught me. No way, Zin. No way. Well, there's in my painting that's the Psalm 119, 105 painting um, that I did of the Christian pilgrim walking the walk with the lamp. That's a rendering of the Bible verse. On the left hand side of that, amongst the trees, I was doing some dabbing of leaves with my paintbrush, and after I walked away from the painting and I came back, and lo and behold, I saw an owl there, and I'm like, I didn't paint that. I'm like, how did that get there? I'm like, I don't remember doing that. Did I do that on purpose? I mean, I literally was like confused, and then I realized it was the not not paranoia. Uh, what's the word? It starts with a P, I believe, that references when you see like faces and things that is not intended. What's the word? Oh, I lost my chat screen there. Hold on. Pareidolia? Pareidolia, I think. Anyway, I'm making a really dark brown here with my trans red oxide and Prussian blue. I think it's a little too dark. So I'm going to take more red oxide and just a touch of this mixture. Let's see what that does. When you mixing transparents, they get dark pretty quick if you're not careful. All right, that's better. I got a red, a dark brick red, and then a brick brown, right there. So, all right. And I do need to get my Galkid going, my fast drying medium, because I gotta get this done and I want it to dry faster than not. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in. Yeah, pareidolia. Yeah, that's the one. Paranoia. That's not paranoia. I just knew it started with a P. Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes Ron and I will have these conversations where we've messed up words. You know, what's that one where we talked about croquet uh, and all the different variant words, but they have no relation to each other. We had a conversation one day in the car, and he's like, "What about this?" And I'm like, "No, no, that's that," And we go down some pretty weird rabbit holes. All right, let's see here. I'm going to use a round. This is well, I apparently rubbed off the size, but this is the round I'm using. Um, Tune into Stephanie's live stream where you might learn something by accident for sure. Oops. Oh my gosh. All right. So what I want to do, think before I apply this red, because this is so dark, I'm going to redraw that upper portion of that door with a brighter color for the vanishing line. Now, this door has to actually go like that. Can you see that? Right here. So that's the top of the door. where before it was like this. And then it disappears into the shadows. And what I do to make sure I'm going straight down is I make sure that my line, I have my finger on the edge of the canvas and I'm holding my paintbrush here. Starting here, I follow it down to make sure that I know where that line goes. And the only reason I'm doing this bright is because it's already so dark. And I'm painting right over this trash receptacle. Because who wants a trash receptacle in their painting? That's just stupid. So yeah. All right. There we go. So that's where that's going to be. And then I want to also get the bottom. I want to get the window drawn in as well. Let's see here. I want to make sure that it's in line with my vanishing point. And you can see that's all I'm doing is just redrawing these shapes so that they're in line with the perspective that it needs to be. And then this goes up like that. So that one's all right. And then the rest of this is going to be a door. Down here is going to be, because this is inset here from this wall. There's like a wall here. So, okay. Oscar is homeless. No. He was it snubbed out? Oh shoot, I can't think of the word now. See, that's another. Okay, what's the next learning of the of the night? All right, so this is gonna be the door, and I'm gonna now readjust this, get this painted in. This is a door, not a window. I want this to, and I'm using the medium red, brick red here to get started. And then I will darken where it needs to be darkened and bring the highlights where they need to come in too. Again, this is going to be a window up to the door. Evicted, yeah, evicted. Yep. All right, so gotta keep my perspectives going here. So this is inset. There it goes in. So this needs to, I'm getting lost in this. Bottom of the doors down here. Okay. Bottom of the doors down here. Now, I really need a bigger brush. Bigger brush. And that's one thing I'm always guilty of is that I tend to try to paint with one size brush most of the time. And I find that I struggle to get something rendered correctly because I'm using a brush that I shouldn't be using. I should be using a proper sized brush. So, yeah, definitely want a proper size. And I've got a lot of glare here right now because of the light. All right, I'll get that figured out down there. And then I'm going to, okay, it's a window pane here, or the bars of the window. I'm going to just kind of sketch those in. So yeah, again, using probably the wrong size brush for that. That's just great. But yeah. We are going to need a bigger brush. This is my biggest one in this grouping. So, okay, I'm going to let that sit for now. And then I'm going to go over here. And don't worry, I will do palette cam. All right. Vanishing points. Making sure I'm using this paintbrush as a way to make sure that these areas are there we go. There we go. You see, that's getting nice and dark because it's inset as well. Okay. That's actually this way. And I don't want to obstruct this kind of glowy effect of the sunlight. Like it looks like in the reference photo, it recently rained, and so there's kind of like a steam coming off the ground, and the sunlight's coming through that steam. It's kind of like that effect. So I'm trying to make sure I hold that value and that effect without, too much. I still want some darks, but I want that to really register. There we go. So yeah, other than Art of Zin's uh, video I saw today that I thought was really fantastic, um, I watch several artists on YouTube because that's where a lot of them are. But I learned from a lot of them that way. Um, and I'm going to try to keep looking for artists on Rumble as well, so that way I can follow people and learn too. I've learned so much. I'm watching one, and oh my gosh, her name escapes me at the moment, um, who does a lot of art festivals. So, of course, given the fact that I'm going to be at some art festivals in May, I'm watching and trying to learn as much as I can so I can be as prepared as I can. And that's called getting your finger right up into the paint when you're doing a little bit too much on one edge there. Okay, though. So yeah, I don't know if you guys watch any artists on YouTube, and if there's a favorite that you have. I like to watch Steven Zapata. He's one of the ones that kind of led the charge against AI when it first started to really make its appearance, and also was a supporter of Nightshade, which confuses AI, or is supposed to anyway, so that it doesn't, that when it goes to scrape an artist's work and that artist has Nightshade applied to their art, it's supposed to um, confuse the AI by telling it it's, if it's a painting of a baseball, let's say, the Nightshade will tell it's a painting of an apple. And of course, the AI doesn't know any better, so to speak, or something like that, And so I just didn't have the computing power to run that. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to use that as much as I would like to protect my work. Not that my work is well known, not that people are looking to, you know, say, hey, I want to steal her work. That's not, but, you know, it's probably a good habit to get into. Um, and again, I'm trying to, if you see me, I'm kind of stumbling here. It's because there's sun rays and stuff that I'm trying to preserve. So yeah, I like Steven Zapata, not necessarily for that, because I started watching him before the AI stuff kind of hit the, you know, he's he's done artwork for like Skyrim, the video games. So he's done that. He teaches. I think he lives somewhere in New York. Uh, so let's see here. He's very existential in his musings. Um, and I don't always agree with him, but I find him fascinating. I find him very talented, um, and he teaches too. If you're interested in learning how to draw properly with perspective, learning shape, and form, he's got a great thing, I guess, on form. So if you struggle with form at all, um, I suggest maybe watching him. All right, I think. What do you guys say? Um, Time for a palette cam close up. Ah, the skinny girl with the bright animal paintings. Yes, yes, that's her. I just can't remember her name, but yes, she does a lot of those, tent festival how-tos and how to talk to people and that type of thing. Yeah, yeah. And I like to watch people who've put in the time and experience. She's had over 10 years of art festival experience, so that tells me she knows what she's talking about, as opposed to just signing on to um, somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about. They might have some sort of, you know, knowledge, but do they have the experience that goes with it? All right, let's see here. This is Hold on a second. I take this webcam off. There we go. So I did work on the sequin top, by the way. I did work on their legs. Um, and again, like I said, I was working on this this part of her dress and these part of this part of the buildings. Um, so like I said, I was getting the lettering in here. And this obviously needs a little work, but that's what I'll do while I'm painting. Is the midnight it looks a little, off, but that's okay. I'll get there. I'll get there. I did this last Wednesday, if you remember correctly, the stone lion. I haven't touched that since because I wanted to get the other silver stitches. And so I was just in here doing these darks and adjusting these edges here. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Right on the edge here for this window. And so, and trying to make this kind of a door, an inset door as well. I'm going to get the sidewalks kind of painted in. I get these edges here reduced down so that they're more hinted at. And then, of course, I got to get this finished. Although I'm kind of liking how it's looking already, but it's got some of that pink showing through, and I don't think that should still be there. And then last but not least, I think the bottoms of these windows are okay with the vanishing point. It's the top ones that need to be adjusted. So I gotta get those fixed. Um, but yeah, I'm essentially done painting them, the girls, Kira and Celine. And like I said, I'm just got to finish the lettering, the buildings, doing all the detail work as well. I figure as well, I got palette cam going. Um, Thought I'd share out. These are my two. This is my abstract turn impressionistic. It's currently in this stage. Not as happy with it yet as I'd like to be. I'm trying to keep an impressionistic touch to it, but it got muddy as I was working on it. So I definitely have to, and I'm sorry I'm shaking so much, but I definitely have to let it dry a little bit and then come back in. And then this is a very small painting. I started working on this one a long time ago. It's actually mixed media, and there's actually collage paper on there underneath. You can see something like writing underneath. That's the collage paper. And I just wanted to do a color palette of oranges and blues where the butterfly is blues and it's sitting on an orangey red flower and then an abstract background. And I just been struggling with on doing this. And I thought I'd try, last night I went and if you can see the texture, it's actually palette knifed flower. I don't usually paint with a palette knife. So these two here are things that I'm doing new for myself. So, and those are behind me as I'm working tonight. So, all right, palette cam back up where it belongs. Hi, Kim. Yeah, thank you, Kim. Kim's on YouTube, and she popped in to say hey and to let me know that she's praying for me and for Dale. I appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers. He needs it, and of course, I need prayer too. But I'm okay with you praying for Dale more than anything. He needs he needs it. So thank you, honey. I'm so grateful. Um, but yeah. Uh-oh. What happened, Chatosa? You don't have a virus or anything on it. When I asked that, it sounded awful strange to me. So I don't know. And for some reason, most of my paintbrushes are sticky on the handles, and I don't know why. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna try to take and paint. Those are okay, except this bottom one seems off. I'm checking the angle of the bottom of the windows on the second floor, and it looks like I actually do need to fix those a little bit. And same with those. Okay, so maybe I thought I had already touched them, but it doesn't look like I'm completely accurate there. So let's see here. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit of this brighter red in there to kind of be able to see what I'm doing. I mean, it's pretty close, but it wasn't exact. So I'm trying to make sure. What's interesting is how the paint changes tonal value as I go across from dark to light. It's just very interesting. Okay, I'm just going to, that's going to show me where my line should be. There we go. And, I've also watched when it comes to artists, I've watched Karen Rice, who's a watercolor artist, and she that's her medium, and she really knows what she's doing. And I admire her how well versed in the techniques that she is, that she can just whip it out. I mean, it's impressive. Um, so yeah, I find that her stuff's very inspiring, and she was actually the one that inspired me to try the night sky painting that I did in watercolor. That had the sort of like the Northern Lights kind of look, but in a rainbowish color. Uh, my volcano caldera painting, if you remember that had a night sky in it that I followed the instructions of Karen Rice, and it was pretty helpful. Um, what she suggested. Okay, change the size, Stephanie. There we go. So I'm adding more medium too. Readjusting these windows. Yeah, no one can hack Crazy Bear's phone because it's an obsoleted technology. All right, I am readjusting the tops of these. All right. So yeah, this is always fun making adjustments, but I really want this to register correctly. And so yeah, and I'm still working on figuring out what my next canvas is going to be, because I definitely want to get started on another painting. I know that I'm up for another one for Lisa. She is just getting very prolific in her writing. She's getting all inspired, and so thankfully I'll have time to figure it out. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I may have to bring in better tonal values again, but I want to make sure that these lines make sense. I also have to do a painting for Crazy Bear because he's doing his Zalubra book for the people group called Zalubras in his TTRPG, and I'm trying to make sure I do a limited la 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 la. Yes, okay, try again, Stephanie. A limited edition image for the limited edition printing. Um, I don't know if I'll get there, and I don't want to let my husband down. He's got my back. Yeah, field notes on the Zalubras. Yep, that's the one. And he's already got more than half the book figured out. And I'm like, oh no, man, I gotta get this going. I gotta figure out something. So maybe I'll do a painting. Do you want me to do another watercolor to be consistent, Ron? Crazy Bear? Or do you want me to do a canvas like this one, for the Zalubras? I'm thinking consistency would probably be best, but what do you think? That's looking better. Definitely looking better. bright down here. This is too bright. There we go. But yeah, this is definitely looking better than what it was. Your options, honey, were watercolor like I did for the others, or I can do a canvas like this one, either an oil or acrylic, or I mean, I can do it any way you want. I don't think I'll do a 30 by 30 because that'll take too long and you need it sooner rather than later. So I may, I think I may opt for watercolor, but if I keep to a smaller canvas, I could do a canvas one for you. I think that looks better. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't know. I guess I could pick it when I decide on what it is I am gonna do in terms of, what kind of composition, I guess. What I'm trying to do here is establish that sidewalk right there. Yeah. And I'm dipping in again to that mixture of transparent red oxide and the Prussian blue, the redder one, and then the browner one. Browner. See? New word, browner. Or more brown. However, the writers in the group are probably twitching. It's more brown, not browner. Proper grammar, Stephanie. Proper grammar. Probably can't see that. It's just off screen and it's probably a little too far away. And you certainly can't see this bottom one, but this corner has annoyed me all the time, and I think that's why I've avoided it. Um, and I can't. I have to get it finished right. Uh-oh, what did I miss? I agree with Art of Zen, Shitosa. Okay, the bird emoji. I don't know what that is. Alrighty then, let's do a different thing. Let's do, oh, okay, we're going to do a Rick roll. Here we go. There it is. Rick roll. There it is. If I had music to play that didn't violate some sort of rule somewhere that's Rick roll, I would do it, but I don't. So there you go. Put it in your mind, you know. Sing it in your heart and in your mind. Rick rolling. All right. Now, let's see how I can tackle these signs while this other stuff is drying. Let's see. I'm going to drink some water. All right. I think what I need to do, show you my reference photo. In a minute here with my palette cam. All right, let's see. You can see what I'm trying, what I'm up against with the signs. Hopefully this didn't screw it up, but okay. So here, oops, there we go. You can see that sign right there. That's the midnight and mischief, and clearly you can see the edge of the reference photo actually is cut off more so than what I have here. I actually present more of the building on this side. And you can see from my angle the glare that I'm dealing with. So when I'm painting here and I got this glare, that's what I'm seeing. You guys are probably seeing this, but I'm seeing this. So I have to probably lean in or stand up. I wonder if standing up will help. Oh, see? Standing up, I still got some glare here, but I do need to try to get this established using the tonal values and the light and the colors of this original. I want to have that same effect for this. And then the other one, let me just scroll over. Okay, right here, you can see the one on the left is where the stone lion is going to be, and then the one on the right. And again, those are shorter on my painting that they're showing in the reference. So you can see, I actually feel like this is a little longer. And so I need to kind of represent those same colors, those same shine, you know, as well. And here's the some of the work I did, but I got these straightened up a little bit, and I need to just clean up the insides a little bit, get those lines a little bit more succinct, not wobbly windows. But yeah, I kind of like the gun the way it is, but I don't think I should leave it that way. Because if you can see, it's got some pink to it still. There's no pink on a gun unless you've got a pink gun. And you shouldn't have a pink gun. If you're gonna be serious. But oh, Rick Roll. Oh yes. Rick Astley? Isn't that his name? All right. All right. Let's see here. So now I need to get more of my cadmium red light, which is that bright red, because those signs have bright yellows and oranges, and so this is the cadmium red light. Oops, which way am I going? This way. From Blue Ridge Oil Paints out of Asheville. This is the one that takes forever to dry. It has a lot of, the binder in it is very loose. I won't say what it reminds me of because it's gross. But anyway, let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to get this consolidated away for now up here. Same with this red here. I'm going to try to keep a clean palette whenever you can. I'm not very good at that, but I try. I do make an effort to take care of my brushes, though. Brushes are expensive, and if you're not careful, you can definitely ruin your brushes. And they're not exactly cheap. So what I have here is an orange I'm doing. I'm going to try to do that over here. Definitely using a too big of a brush already, I can tell. Now I'm going to do slightly different than the, because obviously I got real lettering here. But I can't use, I've got a small straight one, but it's still too big. So let's see, I have a smaller filbert. I think that'll work. I tend to like filberts more than anything else. Because you can get a nice angle on them. Oh well, Chateau. So that's interesting. I could see that now that you're saying it. Maybe that's the way I should go with it. She just shot it. She's pointing it back down. But who did she shoot? I guess you have to read the book at authorlisamarie.com when it comes out. Which she's patiently waiting for me to finish this painting. I hear you. I'm with you. I got it. I'm working on it. I lost some time yesterday and I had some other things going on, but okay. I'm getting there. This, if I can get this. Oh my gosh, Stephanie. It is actually. Then Murphy's oil soap is. I haven't gotten any from my brushes yet. I'm actually using something different, but Murphy's oil soap is good for when you've ruined brushes. It'll restore them. So, so yeah. Oh, and where I learned that is from a YouTube channel called Milan Art Institute by Ellie Milan. She's the founder of that. They got a couple of channels. Ellie's got her own channel. Then there's the Milan Institute channel, and then her daughter who paints is Demetria Milan, and they put out some really good content. I've learned a lot watching their content, and they said they showed like a ruined paintbrush. They said don't throw out your ruined paintbrushes, stick them in Murphy's oil soap. And I'm like, huh. And I had never heard that. Again, uh, things you don't learn at university, right? So um, I did not learn that at university. Heck, I barely learned any of the stuff I'm learning now from university. And I feel bad because, I will, I was blessed to have a university education provided by my parents. My parents paid for my university education and didn't ask me to pay them back. I'm blessed that my parents did that for me. And I'm under no illusions otherwise. They didn't have to do that. And I do admit that my degree, even though it's an art, has provided me better income because employers have recognized that I went through university, and that I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I graduated. So in the end, um, it helped me get an increase in my income. So, and this, of course, this was back when university made sense. Nowadays, I don't think it makes as much sense. You can learn way more from online learnings than you can from going into university, and for a lot less. In fact, I've learned more about art supplies, art processes from online sources than I in since coming out of my seclusion as an artist, I guess is what I would call it, than I ever did in university. But I've got the degree that says I went to university, and I did. I think one of the best classes that I took that you can't really learn on your own unless you've got the equipment is lithography, stone lithography with the limestone. So, so yeah. All right, now I need to get some of this. All right. And what I'm trying to do is slowly darken this sign. You can see right here, this is where I've been working. That's the lightest end of that sign, and now I'm getting in darker even still. And then what I will do is I will highlight these letters in their appropriate size and angle because I don't think they're right at this point. I'm keeping them there as a guide. But yeah. But you can tell that's actually starting to look much better in terms of the light coming out. And again, the letters I'm going to come back in and paint and make them the right size. So I think it's turning out better with this gradation I'm doing. And of course, like I said, I'm leaning in here because I got the glare that you guys saw when I had palette cam down. Palette cam. And palette cam really is just an old phone. An old phone with a camera that still works. It's a very slow phone. So I have to literally turn it on, connect it to my OBS software. I have to start at like no later than 20 minutes to the hour because it's so slow. Um, I don't know how I would have done business with it the way it is. I had to get a new phone so I could do tap to pay for these events. In the event that I actually do sell some prints, which I am hopeful for. So yeah, I think that's registering. And then I'll come in when it's a little drier and kind of get the embossed feel coming in. Okay, I'm gonna have to stand up and see if I can't. If I lean in too much more, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm trying not to get in the way of that camera, but my goodness, Miss Chef. Okay, this is definitely dark, but it'll get highlighted. So now you can't see the lettering, but it's there. I promise. Oh, hi, Kim. I don't know when I must have missed your comment. The painting is awesome. Thank you, honey. Appreciate it. I'm trying. I got to get this finished for Lisa because she's getting ready to release her novel. And so I want to make sure. that I get it to her. Commitments, gotta have them. Gotta abide by them. Gotta get them done. No matter who you are, and no matter who for. Gotta do it. I am actually making this window up. So this is not exactly the way the window looks on the reference photo. And that's okay. That's the genius of doing it your way. All right. I promise I won't sing. Uh, you see that? That's that window. I'm trying to do trying to figure this out. I always come in with darker colors here in a minute. Excuse me. What do you think of that? Does that looks like it's less, it looks better than what it was, I think. I plan to buy one of the one with the lady in the woods when you get those out. I do actually have that out, Zin, on my website. The Psalm 119, 105. Is that the one you're talking about? The hooded figure holding the lantern in the woods. Because that's already on my website. I got a couple of sizes of prints for that, by the way. So yeah, if you go to my website, it's midlifeartist.com/category/prints. So if you want, I actually, they're downstairs, but I've actually been working on getting those put in their, the backing boards and the plastic sleeves and then sealed up. I think that's registering pretty well. I keep looking at the video of it. Let's see here. Does that come out brighter? Not really. Or does it? This is definitely making it up. All right, let's see here. That's still wet a little bit. Not bad though. Oh my gosh. You know, I have to say, paying Uncle Sam after what we've learned about all the fraud out there just really burns me. Doesn't it burn you? Oh my gosh. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've got it figured out that that in the end I net zero. I don't owe, but I don't get money back. That's kind of how I've been working on it. I keep mucking around with this. I probably shouldn't. Trying to get that edge to kind of pop. There we go. Yeah, the Amazon, I've got 2 or 3 sizes as well. And that's on the website as well. So I do have those up on the website, I'm pretty sure. And I actually have them in stock, Zen. So if you're interested, you know, whenever you're ready, I'd appreciate the sale, and you know, that'd be awesome. But I also not worried about it if you need to serve money. I understand. See here. All right. Now with that, I gotta let that dry a little bit before I try to muck around with the lettering because it'll just blend and can't do that. So I'm gonna go back over to this side. See if I can't. Okay, so I am already in. Let me see if I can zoom. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna try to get that to. This is definitely gotta have that same kind of treatment as on this side. So that's what I will do. Same treatment. Wow. They don't have most employers nowadays have a way where you can set it yourself, an online employee portal. I don't know. I don't know if that's something available to you um, or not. But I have to go and adjust mine because the thing that happened at my workplace last week, I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but it's enough that it caused changes in benefits. In fact, me and Ron will be going without health insurance because the changes in the benefits caused a price increase, and the kind of plans that were available to us on the quote unquote health insurance side of things was that high deductible plans. If you're familiar with those at all, uh, you have to pay a premium to the insurance company, and then you have to pay a high deductible before any benefits will pay out. And most times that's 20%, where you end up only paying 20% after you meet your deductible. Well, I don't meet my deductible. Neither me or Ron meet the deductible. Oh, I can't, Lena. I, I do have to get that new easel eventually. I can't lean on this because it wants to fall down if I'm not careful. So I got to be careful. I think I need to do even smaller brush here. But yeah, I looked at the cost of the premiums that I would have to pay for this new health insurance. With the high deductible, individual is like $3,400. So an individual, either me or Juan, would have to meet a $3,400 deductible before the 20%, the 80/20 coverage kicks in at all. And I'm like, really? I only have chiropractic care. I gotta change my brush. This is too big. And then the high deductible cap that kicks into 100% coverage is like $8,000 that we would have to meet per calendar year before we would have the 100% coverage. And I'm like, really? So I'm going to pay $130 per pay period for this high deductible plan that I won't even hit the deductible, providing that nothing catastrophic happens. That's the unspoken thing there. Okay, this is essentially catastrophic insurance, and that's with, unfortunately, UMR. And UMR, if you remember from the headlines, a year or 2 years ago, that crazed guy shot and killed the CEO of. Okay, that's that UMR, and they have a habit of denying claims. So, so what I'm doing is I've decided that instead of paying this UMR, the premiums with them, I'm going to take what I would have paid in premiums, granted after tax, and I'm going to put it in my own personal medical savings account with my credit union. And then I'm using an FSA, which is a pre-tax account for medical expenses, capped federally at $3,400 a year, um, that you can contribute to it. And I'm going to, max that out and use that pre-tax money to pay for my chiropractic care as if I'm doing it in cash. And I'm going to pocket what would have been a premium for UMR into my own account, which is essentially just a savings account. And there's nothing special about it, but it's a after tax. And just in case we need it, if something happens, I'll have that. I also have left over from this year an HSA account, which is a pre-tax account where you own the money you contribute. That is something I have over like $2,000 in. So, with all that consideration there, I'm just going to do my best to be careful. I'm going to go to my chiropractor and get my care like I need. I go once a month to keep me moving. And then hopefully we don't need my savings accounts this year for any unplanned medical expenses. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what we have to deal with. I had to offset the increase in my taxable income because I'm not doing the pre-tax premium of a health insurance. I use insurance loosely because it's not really, it's more like a catastrophic plan. But yeah, I wasn't going to give $130 per pay period to a company that would probably deny claims later and down the road. I just couldn't see myself doing that. So that's what I'm doing. And I know it's crazy, but that's the way of health insurance nowadays, you know? Oh, that's great, Zen, that you've got good insurance. I'm happy for you. Unfortunately, I haven't had good insurance since Obamacare um, ruined it. Thankfully, my last major surgery, the last one I had two major surgeries in life. I had a C-section when my son Nicholas was born because it was an emergency C-section. That was back in, some time ago. I'm not going to say it because it'll reveal his age, and that's no one's business. But it was obviously a long time ago. Um, and then in December of 2019, I had an emergency um, surgery, and that was 2019 December. That was right before COVID came out, and in fact, you can see that's kind of coming out too. Um, and I had Blue Cross Blue Shield. They covered it. The only thing I had to argue for was the OBGYN to cover to suggest that I need the surgery, which I did at the time. It was a hysterectomy, and it was an emergency one because it was threatening my life if I didn't have one. That's how bad it was. And so, yeah, I had to fight to get um, that surgery. But once I got the doctor on board, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, didn't have a problem. After that, it was UMR, and they're so awful, so awful. What they say about UMR is true. So whatever you hear that on the news or whatever, it's true. Just saying. So I try to be as healthy as I can, and I'm not the healthiest I could be, so I'm not doing so well. Anyway, yeah, Obamacare really did. Uh, yeah, Charles was C-sectioned, You're right. Charles was. You were VBAC, Nicholas. So, yeah. So it was decades ago that Charles was evacuated emergency by C-section, for sure. Yeah, no, Shatosa, they can't fine you now. Obamacare would fine you for not having health insurance. So they would make the people who had health insurance pay, pay through their employer. And if you didn't, you got taxed if you didn't get the health insurance. So because they needed working people to pay for people who wants the free medical care. So they needed people to do that. But once I think Trump got in that first time. I think it was Trump, and how I'm not sure how it got reversed, but that part of it is no longer. So you don't have to have health insurance, and you're not going to get penalized. However, you can't take advantage of any discounted uh, what they call the I because I did a lot of research into this when I did it. Um, the marketplace. They like to call it the marketplace, as if you really have a choice. The marketplace is for where people who don't have uh, health insurance options or offerings through their employer go to get a subsidized health insurance. But because my employer offers any kind of um, health insurance to me as an employee, I am not allowed to go on the marketplace and apply for a discounted health insurance because I have to be the one, I have to take what's offered to me through my employer. So that wasn't going to work because I you can't do that. It just doesn't work. And the quotes I was getting for private insurance were just worse than what was offered to me at my workplace. So there was no good option, just no good option whatsoever. And so in 2024, Ron and I had gone without health insurance, and I did the whole um, I did the whole medical, my own medical savings account with my credit union up in New Hampshire. And yes, I still have my credit union up in New Hampshire. Uh, I love them. They're great. They really take care of me. So um, they have I have all my loans with them because they know how to take care of me. I've been with them for golly, uh, they're in New Hampshire, and they are. And I lived in New Hampshire for decades, and so I've been a customer of theirs for decades. So thankfully, I can call them up and get whatever loan I might need right over the phone. And I'm such a good customer with them that I can get the approval usually same day. But yeah, I so I have to plan it out. I have to then offset my pre-tax issues uh, by changing my contribution to the 401k, so that way my taxable income works out to be the same as if I had taken the health insurance. So yeah, it's a game. Unfortunately, you have to play it, but it can be done. But you have to be careful. You have to take care of yourself. You can't, you know, you have to just not worry about it, I guess. And I'm trying not to. Let's see here. Yes, that's right. There it is, Artisan. Oh my gosh, it's already 9:30. I had no idea. It was going just going to town on this. Let me let me go back to this one. Hey. So yeah, I made some progress on these sign faces, and that'll help me then fix the lettering because I still have the lettering kind of placed in there, and I can fix it as I paint them. But they're there and keeps me in place. I just have to make sure that the letters are the right height for the perspective. But yeah, it's close. I'm very close, Lisa. So no chainsaw juggling. Yeah, don't get Crazy Bear started on chainsaw juggling. Okay. Back in the day when we were living in New Hampshire, we joked that he had 3 guardian angels constantly watching over him, because so many things would, he had come close to death so many times. And he had guardian angels just taking care of him. And one day he had a guardian angel cutting out a brand new chainsaw on his behalf. Ah, you don't want me to tell this story? You're right. It is the end of the show, and I like to respect people's time. But, but Lisa, if you're still there, um, this is so close. I am so close. I'm going to keep working on this every night. I'll tell the story eventually, Crazy Bear. So you just hang out, but not tonight. Um, but this is so close. I'm excited that it's coming along, and I may just leave the gun alone because of your feedback, y'all's feedback. Um, but anyway, I just if you most of you have already subscribed to my channel and you're sharing it and you like it, but if you haven't done it tonight, please like the video. Please put a comment in the comment section, not the chat, but the comment section. And then if you can, like, repost it. Rumble has a repost that helps push it out through your networks if you've got them, and all the algorithmic things, because I'm 3 followers away from the 100 followers or subscribers threshold across my channel and my profile, because you have to have a combined following count of at least 100 in order to qualify for the Rumble Creator Program, which I really don't know all about yet. I got to do some research. I'm 3 away. So it'd be great to have a few more. I'm adding to my YouTube account too, but I definitely do much better on Rumble right now. And I love Rumble. Uh, there's just more visibility, more interaction uh, with people on Rumble. YouTube, I might as well, with the exception, of course, Kim. She comes on through YouTube, but if Kim didn't come on, you might as well be talking to the wall on YouTube most times. But I hold out hope. Anyway, so yeah, all the algorithmic things, I could start earning some passive income this way. That'd be great. And then add that to whatever hopefully I make with my art prints and the art tent festivals. Great. I could get that new easel. You can go to my connect page on my website at midlifeartist.com, and you can, support me by getting supplies off of my Amazon wish list, or you could cash at me. I'd appreciate that too. So if you have ways of support, great. I prefer you buy a print or a piece of artwork, because that's what I'm doing it for, is for people to enjoy, to want, to have, to hang on their wall. I'm not looking to be a charity case. I'm working, I'm working for a living, right? So yeah, that's my hope, my prayer. So again, thanks for joining. If you were looking and observing and enjoying the content, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And you guys have a good night. Have a good rest of your week, and hopefully have a great weekend. All right. Have a good one. See you next week.